I think sa dami ng participants natin ngayon, and sa pagbagal ng pagdagdag, I don't think kailangan na nating hintayin yung iba. So, yeah, bahala sila. Karamihan naman dito sa class na to, hindi masyadong umaten. So, I don't know kung ano meron. Today, we will be discussing traffic impact assessment. So, this type of analysis is often performed when we are introducing changes to the transportation network. So, sa small scale, it may be a change in the intersection. Maybe we're going to add traffic signals or maglalagay tayo ng additional na lanes doon sa area na yon. Tapos at a micro level, maybe we're going to implement a new traffic scheme or traffic management plan around a small area. So in the micro level, what we aim to do is check the changes in the behavior of the vehicles and also where are the problem points or conflict points that the simulation is showing us within the network. Tapos meron din naman yung mga malalaking level ng traffic impact assessment or yung often na tinatawag natin na mga transport modeling na. So yung mga macro scale na ganun ay ginagawa natin for large projects such as expressways, highways, and large public transportation projects such as railway, maybe BRT, or what else? Pwede rin na congestion pricing around a large area or a CBD. So pwede rin pumasok sa ganun. So ang goal natin is to basically analyze what will be the impact of adding those changes into our transportation network. Today, I will be showing you a software program that we usually use to do micro-scale transportation analysis or traffic impact assessment. So itong software na to, it uses information data gathered from small areas such as, let's say, an intersection. Tapos, it produces level of service, which is used as the basis to analyze the changes that has been experienced or will be experienced by the study area. Okay, so I'll just share my screen. Wait lang. Okay, so the software is called Sidra Intersection 8 Plus. For the sake of the other students that are not here, I'll record the meeting. Ay, nag-record. Okay, so it's recording. So yan. Oops. So this is the software that we will be using to conduct a simple traffic impact assessment at a micro level. So dito, intersection na magiging focus natin. And we will try to do some scenarios and also model an existing intersection. to to check the impact of adding a proposed development along the road network. So yung mga proposed developments na yun, it might be small, let's say hotel or school or maybe movie theater. Yung mga buildings na yon, siguro kung titignan natin siya at city level, parang maliit lang siya na addition. Pero malaki nagiging contribution ng mga ganong developments sa transportation system natin. So malaki na yung impact niya. So we're here to analyze it at a micro level pa lang. Okay. So this is the software. Sidra Intersection 8 Plus. Ito yung makikita nyo pag in-open nyo yung software natin or your app natin. By the way, this software is licensed and makaka-download kayo ng crack nito online. Okay, nung dati, nung nag-work pa ako dun sa isang company ko na kuripot, we were using Sidra, yung crack lang, until I think sometime last year or no 2021 na detect na they're using crack license. So yun, nabuking sila. Because they're an organization, they're using cracked software, which is bawal talaga. But for educational purposes, hindi naman nila masyado tong tinitignan. Okay, so if you want, you can use the crack license, or maybe you can just use this recording as a reference in the future when you're doing this type of analysis. Okay, at least our goal for today is for you guys to learn how to use the software and how to analyze the impact of introducing new developments into the area. Okay. So once you open the software, the first thing that you need to do is go to settings. You need to check if the setup of the road network is correct. So there are some options here na nagbibigay ng left-hand traffic movements. So ito yung left-hand standard left, New Zealand, New South Wales. Ayun. But for the right hand traffic, syempre yung standard right and yung US highway capacity manual. Okay. So for the Philippines, we will be using standard right. So that's the first step. Then next, when you click on the site tab, you will see here the different types of site available for this software. So you have signals. So ito yung mga signalized intersection natin. If your study area has a signalized intersection, you will use this one. Kung rotonda yung study nyo, ito yung gagamitin nyo, roundabout. Kung mga simpleng sign controlled lang, wala namang traffic signals or any data na kailangan nyo i-gather, you can use yung sign control, either stop sign or give way yung control dun sa area. You also have freeway and pedestrians available. Okay. So now let's choose a study area. Google Chrome. Saan ba maganda? Sige. Dito kayo. Hopefully this is two-way. Wait lang. I have traffic data, pero gusto kong baguhin yung study area. That's why I'm doing this. So give me time. So I'm going to use this one. Apologies. Oh, ito. Maybe we can use this. Okay. So this is P2 zone, and I think this is Katipunan intersection in Quezon City. By the way, if you have questions, feel free to open your microphone. Ay, hindi, wag. Sorry guys wait lang Medyo picky ako sa study areas. Sorry, tigas yun. Ito. Ayun, okay. So, this will be our study area. This is Lanuza Avenue and E. Rodriguez Jr. Avenue. So the first step would be to check the study area if it's signalized or if it's sign controlled. So this area is signalized. So if you're going to model this in Sidra, you need to have the traffic signal data available in order to properly model this one into the software. However, we don't have any traffic signal data. So for the sake of this discussion, we can just use a sign controlled type of intersection with north to south being the major road. Okay. So once na maklik nyo yun, this window or small window will pop up, a toolbar. It consists of sites and the site input and also the site output. So it's divided into three. So for the sites, if you double click the site that you have here, the default layout that Sidra will provide you is a cross intersection, meaning four-leg siya with blank na mga pangalan. So walang road names to. So we need to update this intersection. So in order to update this, you need to go to site input and double click intersection. By the way, this type of analysis is often required when we're constructing developments such as groceries, condominiums, large apartment buildings, what else? Office buildings, and major projects such as railway stations. What else? And yung mga bus stops, ay hindi bus stops mga bus stations. Okay. So mamaya explain ko sa inyo kung ano yung ginagamit na input kapag ganun yung mga types ng projects na ipinapropose. Okay, so for our site, it's Lanuza Avenue dash E. Rodriguez. Just have to name your site. And if we're going to take a look at this, this is not a cross intersection. This is only a T intersection. We don't have the east leg. So in order to remove the east leg, you just have to click on it and then go to leg geometry, then click no leg. So now we have in an intersection that has three legs. If you click on apply, you will see, oops, that the other leg will be removed here. Oops. Now, I prefer na lagyan ng names to para hindi tayo malilito. Erod South. Tapos sa taas naman Erod. At ito ay Danuza. As you can see here, there's an indication on which leg of the intersection will be the major road and the leg that will be yielding to the traffic movements. So we have the major roads along or is E. Rodriguez. Then the minor road or the giveaway road is Lanuz Avenue. So once you have those, you just click on apply and it will be seen here in the diagram or in the sketch. So yung mga input natin dito sa model, it's actually very straightforward and sunod-sunod. Next yung gagawin is click on movement definitions and you just have to update this information. The default classes or modes that are considered in the analysis or in SIDRA is classified into two, light vehicles and heavy vehicles. Light vehicles, it includes yung mga cars, sedan, SUV, and mga motorcycles. And for heavy vehicles, ito yung mga trucks na from rigid truck all the way to articulated vehicles, yung mga trailer trucks. Pero, hindi ganun yung ginagawa natin. So, what we will do is classify or add other classifications. So, what I like to do sa ganito is to get the information from the traffic surveys and kung ano yung mga modes na available doon, ini-include ko dito. For this example, we can simply use the data that I have right now, which consists of private vehicles, motorcycles, jeepney, tapos buses, tsaka trucks. For private vehicles, we can classify it as light vehicles, motor vehicles, of course, light din siya. Yung jeepney, let's just classify it as buses for now. Yung buses, classify natin siya as bus. And then yung trucks, classify natin siya as large trucks. After that, you have to check the modes that you have prepared or added so that it will be included in the analysis. Next step is to click on the origin destination movements. As you can see here, these are the movements that are being allowed in the study area. So for this leg, the south leg, we're allowing left turn and through movements. For west leg, we're allowing left and right. And then for southbound movement or on the north leg, we're allowing through movements and also right turn movements. Kung ma-observe nyo, naka-off yung U-turn. The reason for this is that when we're doing traffic analysis, medyo nakakalito or panggulo lang yung U-turn, especially if the volume is low. And at times, there are some intersections that don't really allow vehicles to do U-turn movement. So usually meron silang sarili nilang U-turn slot along the road. Gaya na nakikita natin sa EDSA. So may sarili silang U-turn slot. Bibihira kang makakita ng intersection na merong U-turn. Okay. But if there are some instances na may experience nyo when you're doing sidelines for this one, you can include the U-turn movements if significant naman yung number of vehicles na naggagawa ng movement na yun. Okay? By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this dati or kanina. Itong mga traffic impact assessment na to, pwede nyo itong gawing sideline. However, ang magiging downside lang ng pagiging railway engineers is that wala kayong license to sign yung mga analysis na to. So what you need to, the professions that are allowed to sign itong mga ganitong analysis are civil engineers and also environmental planners. So if you plan in the future to include this skill to your scope or to your maybe sa mga sideline nyo nga, you need to get your environmental planner license. So magta-take kayo ng additional course to do this. But if you are employed in a firm that performs this study, itong ginagawa natin ngayon, this can actually help you when you're applying to different companies because this is an added skill in the field of transportation. Okay? And kung mag-sideline naman kayo, malaki ang bigayan pag traffic impact assessment. So, okay na okay siya matutunan. If you have an experience of 5 years and above, I think you can charge 100K for a simple analysis. Okay. Pero kung wala pa kayo masyadong experience, medyo babaan nyo lang yung bid. Okay. So once you're done with this one, you allowed the user classes that you added here to be added into the software. Just have to click on apply, and then okay. Next step would be to go to lane geometry. So dito, kapag gumagawa kayo ng lane geometry, medyo mag-a-alt-tab kayo na mag-a-alt-tab kasi you have to measure the lane lengths, the lane width, and also count the number of lanes available. So for the south leg, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is, we have 5. So we have 5 lanes for the south leg approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to add here an app lane. So app lane means approach lane. So you just have to click it, click it, click it. If you want to check what your intersection looks like, you just have to click on view display. So ito yung nagiging itsura ng inyong intersection. Now, you can actually click on this one para hindi kayo malito. Next, tignan natin ngayon yung exit lane. Ang exit lane niya dito, meron siyang 4 na lanes. So you need to add 2 lanes dito ngayon sa exit. So just add. So that's your exit lane. Next, the approach lane of the north leg. We have how many lanes? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. So you need to add 2. 1, 2. Oops. Ayan. Tapos, dito naman sa kabila, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 na exit. So let's add exits. Ayan. So, ayan. Nagmumukha ng replica yung ating intersection dito. Dito naman, we have 2 by 2. So just need to update. No need to update because this is already 2 by 2. What else is missing? We have here strip islands or center islands. We have one here and we have one here. So we need to add those. So bakit natin kailangan idagdag to? Kailangan natin siya idagdag kasi yung analysis ng intersection ay isa sa mga tinitignan doon is yung delay time. So yung delay time is the number of seconds before a vehicle exits the intersection. So from this point going to this point, if you're going to do a left turn, kinakount yun ng software and also yung waiting time mo dito. So, kung manggagaling ka dito at pupunta ka dito, may contribution itong kapal ng strip island mo. Kasi nagdadagdag yan ng some, I don't know, 1 meter, let's say, doon sa iyong travel time. So, may impact yan. Let's say na magdadagdag siya ng 0.005 seconds sa travel time. So, meron kang 0.005 delay. Kaya lang, hindi lang naman ikaw ang bumabiyahe dito sa intersection na to. Meron pang possibility na nakapila dito yung mga vehicles. So yung 0.005 mo, kung meron ka dyan nakapilang, let's say, mga venting vehicles, magiging, ilan na yun? Basta yun. So mag-i-increase yung impact niya dun sa area. So may contribution pa rin tong center island. So we need to add it. So how do you add a center island? You just have to click on the inner lanes and dagdag kayo ng strip island. Oops, mali ako ng direction. Yan. And then also for this one, just have to add a strip island. Okay, so ngayon, we'll proceed to the measurements. So I'd like to start with the south leg. If we take a look at this leg, it has a pocket lane or a short lane dito sa portion na to. Okay, so from this area, it's ilang lanes to? It's 4 lanes, tapos magiging 5 lanes na dito sa paglabas. So, itong lane pala na ito ay isang short lane. So you have to click on it and then update it to be a short lane. So medyo madi-distort yung inyong layout dito sa gilid. But don't worry, we can adjust that. Okay. So now let's proceed with the measurements. So for the sake of simplifying the discussion, I will just be getting a measurement from one of the lanes and just assume na pare-parehas yung measurement ng mga lanes na yan. But if you're going to do this on your own, especially kapag ginagawa nyo na when you're being consultants in the future, you have to measure the actual length or width of the lanes. As much as possible, you do it on-site. Pero kung hindi talaga pwede at wala kayong makuhang permit dun sa LGU to do it, and also assistance from the MMDA, you can just do aerial image measurement. So just measure it from here, just like what we're doing. So now I have 3.3 na measurements lane width. At isa akong maswerteng nila lang kasi 3.3 na pala ang nakalagay dito na default. So hindi ko na ito babaguhin. So let's just assume that 3.3 is the lane width. So now, let's proceed to measuring the lane length. So the lane length is the measurement of the lane from the stop line, which is this line here, all the way to the start of the exit point of the previous intersection. Okay, so let's measure the west leg. So just have to click on this one all the way to the end part, which is this end of the, what's this? Pedestrian lane. So I got 93.52. So I need to update all of the measurements here, the lane length to 93.52. I'm going to explain the reason kung bakit natin to kinukuha later in the discussion. Okay. So next step is to measure the other lanes or the other legs. So again, it's the distance from the stop line here all the way to the previous intersection. Na i-check ko muna kung gaano kalayo at saan. Walang layo pa na nito. Layo. Ay, hindi. Ito pala. Okay. May layo pa rin. Sige, let's measure it. So you get the ruler. Tapos kapag mga ganito may curves, I prefer using the path option. Just click on this one and let's do a rough estimate. And rough estimate. Line. Ayan, sabihin natin dito. I don't think this is a proper intersection, but masyado na siyang mahaba. And I don't think pipila yung vehicles ng ganyang kahaba. So let's just use 895. Actually, kahit yung 500, pwede. Pero sige, pagawin ko to. 895, 895, 895, 895. Then we also need to measure the short lane, yung length niya. So, paano natin gagawin yun? Usually, ang measurement ng short lane in a practice would be from the stop line. Na tayo? From the stop line all the way to not here, but 2 meters from this length. So, kung ito yung linya ng ating what's this? Short lane, we just have to reduce it by 2 meters. So 85, 87 nakalagay dito, lagyan natin 85.27. Ang lane length ay 85.27. So the reason why we reduce it by 2 meters is because there is a measurement na ginawa doon sa mga best practices. Now, if you're coming from this lane and you want to shift lanes into a short lane, you need at least 2 meters of 2 meters in length in order to properly maneuver from this lane to the next lane. So ganun yung naging analysis and explanation dun sa mga nabasa kong references. Okay, so now we have yung measurement nito. Ang last na lang is dito sa taas. Tangin ng haba dun. Okay, so let's just assume na 500 meters yun kasi ayan. Let's just use 500 meters for this one. Next, we need to click on no. We need to update this one pala. Okay. So, as I've mentioned earlier, yung ating center island, may contribution siya dun sa traffic. So, since may contribution siya, you need to measure it. So, balik ka dito, measure mo siya. Ilan to? So, 2 meters yon. Itong taas, ilan? Let's measure. 4.5. Tapos, since nagpalit, nadagdagan tayo dito ng short lane, numipis yung center island. Pero dati, makapal siya. So, let's check itong measurement na to. 4.5 din. Okay. So, dito, yung front width ay 2 meters, pero yung back natin, 4.5. So, kung makikita nyo dito, nung in-apply natin yung measurements, naging tama na yung alignment ng road. So, nung 4.5, ayan, dumiretso na siya. And hopefully, kapag in-apply din natin yung 4.5 dito, since pares to, papantay. Okay. So, medyo may discrepancy. I think it's because na hindi eksakto yung ating naging measurement kasi Google Earth lang yung pinagbasihan natin. Pero this will be enough. Okay. So, after placing the measurements, you need to go to, wait lang. Okay. You need to proceed to identifying the movements that's allowed per lane. So dito, titignan natin, since hindi kita, assume natin natanggal tong barikada ng MMDA. Sino familiar dito sa area na to? Pwede bang mag left turn dito sa dalawang lane o isang lane lang? If may familiar dito sa area na to, nung time natanggal pa yung barricade dito, pwede ka ba mag left turn dito sa ano? coming from the second lane? If yes, please speak up. If no, I'll just be assuming na left turn lang dito sa one lane na tong allowed. Okay? So when you go to lane disciplines, punta ka lang dito and then wait yan, no-bother ako. Tingnan natin. Historical. Pwede. Ayan o. Galing dito sa second lane, dili ko sila. Okay. Dito, tas dito. Okay. Alright. So ito ay shared lane. So meron kang through movement, tas meron kang left turn movement. Okay. So dito sa taas, ang allowed dito ay left, right turn, tapos through movement. Okay. So dito, ito right turn to. Tapos ito, not allowed. When you click this one, itong arrow na to, i-allow niya yung movements ng mga modes na in-input mo. So, ayan. Okay? So, naka-allow na sila lahat. Then for this one, ito lang naman yan, left and right movement. Then that's that. You just have to click on apply and check if may error na lalabas. So since wala, we're good to go. Right. Next step is to go to lane movements. So for lane movements, you don't really need to adjust this one based on for this project, for this example. But if you're going to do a project, you need to observe the behavior of the vehicles on site. So, kunwari, dito ka manggagaling sa lane na to, tapos mag-exit ka, of course, dito sa exit leg na to, di ba? Kung straight movement ka, dito lang naman ang exit mo. There are instances na kapag galing ka dito, dito ka mag-exit sa lane na to, and dito, or dito. So meron ka mga options. Kailangan natin ngayon i-distribute yung number of vehicles na manggagaling from this lane to the other lanes. So ganun yung ginagawa. Okay? So if you have that information, you need to apply it. Let's click on view display. Click ko tong view display, I think, and let go. So if nandito ako sa third lane, as you can see here, 100% ng vehicles coming from this lane will just exit to this lane. But in reality, we can distribute it 30, 30, 30, and 10. This is just an assumption. So ginagamit natin lahat ng lanes dito sa intersection na to. Okay? So ayun yung nangyayari. Pero dito, as an example, we're just going to go with the default that we have here. Pero again, kapag kayo na yung gumagawa, you need to consider those. Okay? And also, you can allow other vehicles or the restriction, pwede nyo ilagay dun sa mga specific types of vehicles. Let's say for trucks, kapag galing ka dito, oops, yan. Pwedeng ang gawin nyo, yung private vehicles, i-allow nyo na mag-change sila ng lane. Pero kapag mga trucks na, hindi nyo na-allow. So, pwedeng ganon ang gawin. Okay? Kasi syempre, kung truck ang magko-consume ng space para makaliko, lalo mag-i-increase yung delay doon sa area. Just click on OK, and then goods. There's an option to add pedestrian movements at intersections. So if you take a look at the diagram here, kapag nagdagdag ako ng full crossing, magpa-pop up siya sa hindi nagpop up. Let's click on apply. So when I click on apply, makikita nyo dito sa diagram sa likod na meron tayong pedestrian crossing. Okay? Itong mga pedestrian crossings na to, ini-include ko lang siya kapag ang analysis ko ay signalized and also kapag give way. Pag roundabout, hindi na. And it's important to note that you can only include this if you have information regarding the number of pedestrians na tumatawid. Pero kung wala naman kayo information sa number ng pedestrians na tumatawid dun sa area, and you can't have an assumption with the basis, it's better to not include it. So for this example, I won't be including it. Okay. Again, guys, if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, then the next step would be to input the volumes of the study area. So now I'll be using a sample data that I have here. So ito yung i-input ko ngayon dito sa ating Sidra. Okay. So to double this one and hindi ko siya ma-minimize. Okay, so yung data ko na meron dito, these are 2023 volumes at an intersection. Actually, it's just an intersection to the north, Julio Vargas and E. Rodriguez Avenue. So, yan, color-coded naman siya. Ito ay private vehicles, ito ay motorcycles, jeepneys, buses, tsaka trucks. So now, what we need to do is place the totals here and then update the percentages. Kaya lang, you don't actually need to compute for the percentages. You can just click on volume data method and do total and vehicles na option. Again, we don't need to use light vehicles and heavy vehicles kasi we already classified the traffic into 5 na nakikita nyo ngayon dito sa traffic data. So let's input the information. So we have 150, we have 80, oops, we have 50, we have 60, and we have 3. As you can see here, there's an error because the total volumes that I have here is not equal to the total vehicles that I placed here. So you just have to click on the check the total to 89 and continue with the input to others. So ito ay 203, tapos 120, 50, 15, 3, and 15. Oops, still error. Bakit error? 289, 150, 80, 50. And then continue with the input doon sa ibang legs. So this is 33 and 248. So left turn movement is 33 and this one is 248. Ingat sa pag-input kasi baka may input mo siya dun sa heavy vehicle. So double check lang. 190, this is 30, this is 15, 10, and 3. Then click on the north leg. The totals that I have here are 283 and 79. Tapos, private vehicle ko 150, motorcycle 80, 43 then. So, majority or malaking percentage ng oras nyo will be allotted to doing the network preparation and data input. Which is what you will do kapag nag-work na kayo. Okay? And also kapag nagtithesis kayo. Yung data gathering, preparation ng documents, and also yung data input. Ang pinakamatagal na part, that's yung analysis. Pabilisan na lang yan. So now I clicked on apply and then okay. So may volumes na tayo ngayon dito sa study area natin. Okay. We don't need to discuss the priorities and also the gap acceptance. I would like to move to vehicle movement data. So dito, we have exit speed and cruise speed. Pag sinabing approach speed tsaka exit speed. Pag sinabing approach speed, ito yung speed ng vehicles kung saan sila nanggaling. So if this is E. Rodriguez Ave and the maximum The speed limit here is 70 kilometers per hour. Tapos magle-left turn ako dito, tapos itong road na to ay 50 lang. Ang magiging approach speed ko ay 70, tapos ang exit speed ko ay 50. So ganun ang ginagawa dito sa input na to. But again, to simplify this discussion, I'm just going to use 60 for all. Pero in-explain ko sa inyo kung anong gagawin nyo kapag kayo na yung gumagawa. Next, for calibration, this is actually important because you're going to include the vehicle length into the analysis. So here their default length for private vehicles is 4.5 meters. And then we have a queue space of 7 meters. The queue space is just the vehicle length plus a default value of 2.5. So inaalaw natin na meron 2.5 na gap between the front bumper of your vehicle and the rear bumper of the vehicle in front of you. So ganun yung ginagawa assumption dito. Okay, so now let's edit this. Siguro for private vehicle, let's just maintain it as 4.5. For motorcycle, gaano ba kahaba ang motorsiklo? Yung average na haba ng motorcycles. Motorcycle, then meter. Guys, kung may idea kayo, sabi lang habang nag-google ako dito. Okay, so sabi dito, we can use 2 meters. So just have to click on vehicle length, then 2 meters, tapos add kayo ng 2.5 sa taas. So 4.5, then oops, 4.5. I think pwede yung quick input. Ayan, so since na-input ko na to dito, apply current value to all movements. So for this site, i-click nyo lang yung motorcycle and then apply nyo siya to all sites for the movement class na U2, which is yung motorcycle. So pag in-apply nyo okay, hopefully ma-update din yung ibang ang na-update lang yung queue space. So update natin yung vehicle length. Quick input, tapos all sites, and then okay. So yan, nabago na. Then for jeepney, let's just stick to 10 meters. Tama ba? Jeepney length. Okay. Can you 10 meters and just change this into 12.5. So that's 10 plus 2.5. Simple as that. Okay. Then for buses, gan ba kaaba ang bus? Can be 15 meters daw. Okay, 17.5. So quick input, all sites okay. Quick input, all sites okay. And then for trucks, let's just stick to this value. Just add the 2.5. So ayan. Quick no, not that one. Quick input, all sites. And okay. So once you click on apply, okay nyo na, and then we can proceed to doing adding some parameters. Okay, so the assessment for this types of intersections will be based on level of service. So yung pinaka-performance measure ng level of service natin will be delay. Kasi for intersection, ang pinaprioritize natin ay mabawasan yung delay. Okay? Ang acceptable level of service natin ay level of service D. I think na-discuss na to dun sa mga earlier subjects nyo. So hopefully natatandaan nyo pa. Level of service D yung acceptable. Universal naman yan. LOSA or level of service A ay yung para ka nasa freeway. Yung wala masyadong interruption yung biyahe mo. So free flow lang. LOSB, yung sumunod, natagdagan ng vehicles, nagkakaroon ka ng onting interruption sa biyahe mo, pero very minimal. LOSC to LOSD, tumataas na. Pagdating mo ng LOSE, failure na yon. Okay? So kailangan mo nang mag-introduce ng measures para ma-improve siya to LOSD or better. Tapos yung LOSF ay yung sitwasyon natin sa EDSA during rush hour. Baka nga kung kompleto yung alphabets dun sa LOS, nasa ZZ ka na or AA ka na, mga ganun. Okay, so ganun kalala. Next, we try to check the model parameters. So ito, we have here PCU per vehicle. PCU means passenger car unit. Hopefully, familiar kayo sa passenger car unit, pero if not, I'm going to explain it. So in passenger car unit, it's done or it's measured using different values. So what I like to do, aside from using kung ano man yung naka-assign sa atin, here in the Philippines, we have passenger car units na equivalents na ginagamit natin. So si DPWH nagbibigay nun. Pero na-research ko dati na yung passenger car units, it's actually space that's being consumed by your vehicle doon sa kalsada. So ang nagiging basis natin dito ay isang private vehicle. So yung private vehicle natin, it will receive one passenger car unit. For motorcycle, let's just use an assumption of 2.5. So yung impact ng isang private vehicle sa area sa isang kalsada, dalawang motorcycle yung equivalent niya, parang ganon. So for jeepneys, it's usually 1.5. For buses, it's 2. For trucks, we can use 2.5. Okay. Again, if you want references for the passenger car unit, meron tayo sa DPWH. Kaya lang ayoko siyang ginagamit kasi masyadong mataas yung ginagamit nila for motorcycle. Parang lagpas ng 1. Parang medyo ano lang, questionable. Bakit mas mataas ng 1? Mas mataas pa siya sa private vehicle. For other countries like UK, tapos I think sa China, Hong Kong, may kanya-kanya silang PCU values. And also sa ating countries like New Zealand, Australia, US, meron din silang kani-kanyang PCU value. So kung yung project nyo ay located doon, gamitin nyo na lang kung ano yung mga ginagamit nila. Next, no need to update the cost. For fuel and emission, this is actually important if you're doing analysis sa NVI. Pero hindi naman ganoon yung focus natin. So let's just leave it as this. After that, you click on apply and then okay. So yun na, we're finished. Nagawa na natin yung base model. So this will be our base model. So what we need to do now is do the analysis. So right click, process site, and then for a few seconds, oops, ano to, all movement into this lane have 0 volume. Okay, we received an error, lane 3. Ano na yan? Volumes. Lane 3. Lane 3. Ng, ano ulit yan? South approach, ito. Lane 3, all movements assigned to this lane have 0 volume. Check natin ha. Ito. So dito, kung makikita nyo, hindi ko pala na-check lahat to. So, nag-error. And also ito. And also ito. So, ingat-ingat. Check natin. Okay. So now, just click on apply and then go process site. Hopefully, yay, may results na. So wala pang 2 seconds, may results ka na. So ganun lang kabilis ang analysis. Ay, sorry, yung pagkuha ng output. So now, we're going to interpret the data. We have different types of output here. We have detailed output. So if you double click it, mag-up pilitaw to. So ayan, medyo annoying lang siya basahin kaya hindi ko siya ginagamit. We have intersection summary. Ito na yung summary dito ng buong intersection. And if you want to go into detail, you go to movement summary. Now, what you can see here is the results per movement and also per leg. Nakikita nyo ay ito yung total vehicle per hour na dumaan doon sa leg na yon. Ito yung heavy vehicle percentage. Yung heavy vehicle ang pumasok dito ay yung trucks. Okay? Truck, pati yung mga buses and jeepney. Dito sila pumasok. Degree of saturation, which means volume over capacity. So dito ang sabi ay 28.7% ng capacity ng left turn movements ang na-consume ng vehicle, which is actually decent. We have delay. Kung papansin nyo, meron tayo dito delay na 0. So yung south leg na through movement, which is this one, 0 ang kanyang delay. So why is that? Kasi tuloy-tuloy lang siya and wala siyang conflict with other vehicles. And also siya yung major road. Dire-diretso lang siya. Kaya 0 yung delay niya. The next one na 0 ang delay is through movement of the north leg. Dire-diretso lang din siya dito and siya yung priority. You can see here that largest delay was experienced in west leg, Lanuza Avenue. So ito, yung left turn movement dito. Bakit? Kasi marami siyang points of conflict. If you're going to turn to this lane, exit lane, dito ka pupunta, you have to pass through 3 conflict points, which is this one, and this one. And you have to check kung any acceptable gap before you cross. So that resulted to 30 seconds delay per vehicle, which led to having an LOSD measurement. Okay. Then next, we take a look at the number of vehicles that are being retained or nag-queue doon sa ating study area. So we have 1.2, which is equivalent to around 9 meters na length. So again, yung measurement neto ay nagva-vary kasi iba-iba yung length na inassign natin doon sa ating mga vehicle types. So hindi magtutugma yung vehicle dito versus the distance kung kukumpitin nyo na based doon sa private vehicle measurement. So meron tayong 9 meters, meron tayong 5 meters, meron tayong 7 meters. Just to give you an idea kung itsura nito, yung left turn daw natin merong 9 meters na queuing. So ito yon. Ito yung left turn movement natin, itong dalawang to. So kung meron tayong 9 meters na queuing, yung vehicles daw ay dito hanggang dito lang. So mga dalawang sedan nakapila. Okay? So that's not bad. However, malaki yung delay dito sa intersection. So now, meron na tayong results ng ating base model. The next step is to project the volume into the future. So palalakihin natin yung volumes based doon sa growth rate na meron tayo sa side. For now, we can just assume a 1.5% increase. So you just have to clone the site so that we have a comparison. Clone the site, and then maybe change the name so that ma-distinguish natin mamaya. 2028. So we have 2023 and 2028 here. So to update the 2028 volumes, you can actually do it manually. So we can use a 1.5% annual average growth rate. So that's just an assumption. But if you have historical data of traffic in the area, you can use it to compute the growth rate. But for now, let's just assume a 1.5% growth rate. You go to site demand sensitivity and click on design life, final year, tapos click on 5%, sorry, 5 yung number of years, and then compound, tama ba? Yeah, compound. And then apply, tapos okay. Next step would be to go to volume factors. Kung makikita nyo dito, nakalagay dito na volume factor ay 2%. So, change natin yan, gawin natin 1.5%. Kasi yun yung gusto kong ilagay. It's an assumption. It's quick input. Convex. And then just check. So, na-assign na. Apply. And let's process this. Hopefully mag-work. To be honest with you guys, this will be the first time that I'll be applying or trying to use the site demand and sensitivity. Kasi ako, mostly yung ginagamit ko ay yung computations na meron ako sa Excel. So let's check. Ano nangyari? Oh, ayan na. Nagkanda leche-leche na. So nung in-increase natin yung volume, ano nangyari ngayon? Nakita natin na by 2028, yung traffic na mag-generate doon sa area mag-exceed na doon sa LOSD. So kapag nakita nyo na ganito, and may basis naman kayo for the trend, kailangan nyo nang gawa ng paraan yan. Kasi habang tumatagal, and habang wala kang ini-introduce na bagong mode of transportation sa area, lalala at lalala yung condition ng iyong road network dahil sa mga private vehicles. For your information, yung motor vehicle registration natin ay parating positive. Never naka-experience ata ng negative percentage for Metro Manila. So madadagdagan pa yan. Okay, so let's say 2033, sabog na talaga yung intersection na yun. Okay? And ayun, so kailangan ng gawa ng paraan, no? But ganito gusto kong gawin. Saglit. 5 years, design life, volumes. Let's try to just use 1.1%. Kasi may gusto pa akong ipakita sa inyo later kung ano yung possible na gagawin nyo as future railway engineers or maybe transportation and traffic engineer. So yan, binabaan ko yung percentage para pumasok pa rin siya sa LOSD. Okay? So, this is just for simulation purposes. Next step would be to clone the site again. Okay. Just have to wait and then right-click. Rename natin to. Lagay natin with development. Oops, wrong spelling. So ngayon, kailangan ko na explain sa inyo kung saan ba talaga ginagamit yung traffic impact assessment. So the first part that I did was to show you guys how to do the model, how to input the data, how to run the model and get the output, how to interpret the output. Now I'll be explaining to you guys how to do the traffic impact assessment or the analysis. Okay, so as you can see, I duplicated the 2028 model to another one entitled or with added title of with development. So dito natin idadagdag yung traffic na ma-generate ng development na i-introduce natin sa network. Let's say dito sa E. Rodriguez, naisipan ko na maglagay ng pure gold dito sa part na to, sa south area. Ano mangyayari? Madadagdagan yung traffic doon sa area due to the additional volume that will be generated by that pure gold. Okay? So kailangan natin mag-conduct ng traffic impact assessment. If you remember, doon sa inyong trip generation, ng discussion nyo last SEM or maybe last year, meron doon isang option to do trip rates. So in trip rates, those are computed or predetermined number of trips that are generated per unit of the development. So let's say you have a condo. Ang usual na computation for the number of trips generated by a condominium will be based on the number of units it has. Next, for fast food restaurants, it may be based on the area of the fast food restaurant, or it may be or it may depend on the number of seats na available doon sa restaurant na yon. Pwede rin sa movie theater or maybe sa mga arena, ang basihan din nila is area or yung number of seats. So dalawa yung pwede maging basis. So ngayon, makakompute nyo kung gaano karaming vehicles yung papasok at lalabas doon sa development mo. And also, same din yung principle kapag ang i-introduce mo dito ay isang railway station or isang BRT station or maybe facilities ng transportation. If we're going to add a rail station at this area, meron tayong in and out doon. So yung in and out natin doon sa rail station can be extracted or pwede na tayong gawa ng assumption based doon sa boarding and alighting data doon sa station na yun. So if you have the boarding and alighting data and you have the existing mode share around this area, you can actually distribute the passengers going in and out based on the mode share in the area. So ano ba yung mga modes na meron tayo? We have private vehicles, motorcycles, jeepneys, and buses. Okay? So let's say that we have 150, 80, 50, and 6. What's this? Private vehicle, motor, jeep, tsaka bus. Yung truck, hindi ko na-include kasi kung pasahero ka ng tren, bababa ka dun sa stasyon, hindi ka naman sasakay ng truck para makapunta dun sa susunod mong destination, di ba? Napakabihira nun. So ito yung mga options mo. Okay? Either mag-aangkas ka or jeep or bus. So yung mga ganitong types ng analysis, lalo-lalo na for railway stations, it comes with multiple assumptions. Okay? So let's just, for now, let's compute the mode share of these vehicles. So kunin mo lang yan, then yung sum neto. Oops. And then okay. So ayan. So ayun yung mode share no dun sa area na yun. Ito lang pala yung ginamit ko. Itong left turn. Pero assume nyo na lang na ito yung buong mode, buong volume doon sa study area. Ito lang pala yung nakopya ko. Apologies for that. Pero let's assume na ito na yung existing mode share doon sa intersection na yan. Okay? So this is just an assumption. Tapos meron tayong ilan ba ang realistic the number of passengers na mababa per hour. Let's say 500? 500 or 400? I don't know. Tagal na. This is the boarding and this is the alighting passengers. So now we're going to distribute these passengers into the vehicles dun sa kalsada. Okay. So before we do that, we have to make another assumption. Ilan ba yung passengers na kayang bitbitin ng private vehicle? So meron tayong mga passenger occupancy data na makikita nyo doon sa mga existing studies from JICA or studies na meron si UP and CTS or National Center for Transportation Studies. So for now, just make an assumption of 1.5 for motorcycle, just 1 for jeepney. Ilan bang capacity nito? 20 for bus 60. Okay, so that's the maximum capacity. But for the occupancy, let's do 12. Tapos for bus, yeah, let's just stick to 60 kasi 60 yung seated. Tapos meron pang mga additional 40 na nakatayo. So let's just stick to 60. So now we need to distribute the number of passengers dito sa ating mode share given the occupancy. Okay. So wait lang. Paano ko gagawin to? Nabobo na ako. Walang ya. At pala minultiply ko muna. Okay. So it was supposed to be the number of vehicles times the number of passengers it can carry. Kasi passengers yung lumalabas doon sa ating station and dapat passengers din yung conversion ng vehicles natin. Okay? So dapat ayan. What? Wait lang, saglit. Nabobo na mag-Excel. Ano yung mga volumes? Okay, so ito multiplied by ito. So this will be the number of passengers or assumed passengers that the vehicles can carry. So ito yung vehicles, ito yung occupancy, ito yung pax. Tapos dito kayo magko-compute ng percentage. Yan. Sum. Oops. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. So now we have a percentage distribution of the passengers. 18% will be going or using private vehicles, 6% will be using motorcycles, tapos jeepney, almost 50%, then almost 30% for the buses. And you have to distribute it. There's a 500. Apply nyo dyan. Just do some rounding off. Ayan. Okay. So ito na ngayon distribution ng passengers mo, yung boarding doon sa private vehicle, then yung alighting doon sa private vehicle 71, 80, 89, 71. Okay? Ito ngayon yung idadagdag mo doon sa iyong anong tawag dito? Ito ngayon yung idadagdag mong information doon sa anong tawag doon? Sa iyong model. Wait lang . Okay. Sorry. Wait lang. Okay, game. Going back. Now, so since passengers ang computation nito, we have to convert it into vehicles naman kasi vehicles yung input doon sa ating traffic impact assessment na analysis. So, ang alam natin ay meron tayong 1.5 na occupancy per a private vehicle. So divide nyo yan by 1.5 equals 89 divided by 1.5. So we will be adding a total of 203 vehicles doon sa network. 59 of them will be private vehicles, 32 will be motorcycles, 20 will be jeepneys, then bus, dalawa. Yan, dalawa. So again, ang ginawa natin, recap lang, kasi medyo naging magulo yung flow. So we have the existing vehicles dun sa network. Then we got the occupancy from studies or literatures. Then we computed for the number of passengers or assumed passengers, estimated passengers doon sa road network based on the occupancy and the number of vehicles present. Kinumpute natin yung distribution or yung mode share based on the existing information that we have. And then we applied the same distribution to the boarding and alighting data. We were able to produce these figures, which states that 89 passengers will be using private vehicles. Tapos, kinonvert natin to back to vehicles by dividing it by 1.5 kasi yun yung occupancy. And we got around 59 private vehicles added for the boarding data and 47 vehicles added for the alighting data. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, 59 private vehicles ang pupunta sa station sa isang oras and 47 private vehicles ang magpipick up galing sa station within 1 hour. So itong mga data na to ngayon, idadagdag natin dito sa with development. So there are so many ways to do this, but the method that I like to do is to get the percentage distribution of the existing volumes. Tapos ayun yung ina-apply ko doon sa aking distribution ng trips generated. Okay. So if located dito yung station, we only have 2 movements na pwede niyang labasan. Yung mga vehicles pwedeng lumabas papunta dito sa baba. And there are vehicles na pwedeng lumabas papunta dun sa taas. Well, actually hindi sila pwedeng bumaba dito kasi may harang. So 100% of the vehicles would have to go up. And kung matatandaan nyo, meron tayong data regarding the left turn movement from this leg. And we also have information dun sa through movement galing dito. So you just have to get percentage of the left turn movement at this leg and the through movement from this leg. Once you get that percentage, just apply it to the number of vehicles that will be exiting dito sa station na to and i-add nyo yung number of vehicles na yun doon sa mga movements. Okay? So basically, ang mangyayari ay mag-i-increase yung number of vehicles mo dito sa intersection na to. Next, ano-ano yung mga ways para makapunta yung mga passengers dito sa station na to? Kung dito ka magagaling sa other leg. Hindi ka pwede manggaling dito. Di ba? So dito ka lang manggagaling sa left turn movement. Ay, hindi, pwede ka pala manggaling dito sa sa through movement tapos dito sa left turn. So mahanap siya ng area kung saan siya pwede mag-U-turn sa baba. Okay? So you just have to distribute the in movement or the boarding data dito sa left turn movement na to, tsaka dito sa straight through movement na to. But you have to add the data here and here. Tapos mag-i-increase yung volumes mo ngayon for these movement. So itong left and through, itong right turn, and also this through movement. Pag nagdagdagan ng ano yan, ng vehicles, or just going to add vehicles, hindi ito yung na-compute natin kanina. I'm just going to add para hindi na tumagal yung discussion natin. So let's say na madagdagan na naging 80 na siya. Tapos, and then, mali. Cancel. Hindi pala yan. Okay. So ito, let's say na madagdagan siya ng ilan ba? 61. So 350. Ito, madagdagan siya ng 70 to 73. Ito, madagdagan yung right turn ng 50. Sarado na natin 300. Tapos ito naman ay madagdagan yung through movement ng ilan kaya? 27. So let's do 310. Then click on apply, then process new site. You will produce outputs from the 2028 model without the development and 2028 model with the development. So you can actually compare them side by side. So click nyo lang itong 2028, then click on movement summary. Click on 2028 there, then click on movement summary. Ayan. So as you can see here, kung i-include natin yung station doon sa area, magfi-fail yung yung west leg na left turn movement. So kailangan gawan ng paraan yan para mabawasan yung delay. Okay, kasi mga pwede natin gawin dito is to, number 1, huwag mo doon itayin yung station mo. Kung ang priority mo ay yung mga vehicles. Okay? Pero syempre, hindi naman tayo car-oriented. We have to prioritize public transportation. So what we need to do here, and ang nakikita kong solution, would be to add traffic signals doon sa area. So that the north and south leg would not be the priority and madidistribute yung delay na meron dito doon sa other legs. Okay? Since yung ating legs naman dito ay merong A tsaka B na level of service and pasok pa sila ng LOSD, if we add traffic signals, madidistribute yung delay and maybe mag-worsen to, magiging C, ito magiging B, 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 tapos ito B rin. But the LOS of the left turn movement from west or Lanuza Avenue will be reduced. And hopefully, bumaba siya to LOS C or D. So, ganun lang yung type ng analysis na ginagawa. After nun, after mo gawin to, you just have to place in some, actually prepare a report, place in some figures, and then submit mo na sa client mo. Once you submit it to the client, you'll get your fee, tapos goods na. Ganun yun. So, nagiging process naman for the payment, just inform you guys. First, umpisa, hingi kayo ng down payment. And that down payment will be used for data gathering. Siyempre, mag-aalat ka ng oras mo. Hahanap ka ng surveyors na magpipila ng vehicles. Hahanap ka ng surveyors na titingin doon sa traffic signals at bibilangin kung ilan yung green time, kung gaano katagal yung green time, yellow time, red time for each of the phases ng traffic signals. Ilan yung pedestrians na tumatawid. So you need to hire people. So for that, you need down payment. After nun, once you have gathered the data, you need to hire encoders. So once ma-encode na ng encoders yung information into Excel, you would have to spend time to process the data and then analyze it, check for errors kasi pwedeng nanggaling yung errors sa survey and also nanggaling yung errors doon sa pag-encode. So matitrace mo naman yun while you're looking at the data. It's very unfortunate that we were not able to do traffic surveys kasi yung part sana na yon ay ituturo ko sa inyo kapag nag-gather nyo na yung data on-site. So what I was planning to do kung inalaw lang sana na makapag-cite tayo at makapag-bilang would be you guys will be counting the vehicles sa isang road network using traffic survey forms, and then i-encode nyo, and you're going to check for the irregularities doon sa data. Kaya lang din natin nagawa. So maybe sa future classes na lang sa ibang batch. Okay, so now you have here LOSF. So those are the recommendations that you can include in the report. So once you're happy with your report and submit it to the client, they submit it to the LGU kung saan sila magko-construct. Kapag accepted na yun, edi you get your pay. There's a 10% retention fee usually. So yung down payment nasa 50%, the other 40% you'll get it once you submit the report. And the 10% retention fee is there para kapag may mga comments yung LGU or yung traffic engineer dun sa munisipyo, ikaw yung sasagot. Kasi baka mamaya pag binayaran ka na nila ng buo, sabihin mo tapos na yung kontrata. So the 10% is for their protection. Okay? So again, you can do this as sideline. If makakuha ko ng ganitong project and wala akong time, siguro sa inyo ko ipagagawa, tapos ako na lang magsasign, tapos kayo na bahala dun sa fee. Sa fee dun sa kliyente. Pero kayo mag-asikaso lahat. Okay, ako lang ang magsasign. Pero syempre check ko rin kung okay yung gawa niyo bago ko gawin. That is kung wala akong time. Pero kung may time ako, syempre ako gagawa. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding traffic impact assessment and how to do it? Any questions po?
Sure.
Yes po.
Yung dun po kanina yung sa mga mode of vehicles po, nung kino-compute po kung ilan po. Hindi po ba yun i-round up? Yung kanina po kasi 59.3333 lumabas, tapos 59 lang po yung nilagay niyo. Round out po ba talaga yun?
Hindi. Kasi pag ni-round up mo siya, ang mangyayari, magbabago yung totals, di ba? Kasi pag ni-round up mo, madadagdagan yung vehicles dun sa location. So mas maganda, ang ginagawa ko, niro-round off ko sila. Kaya ang ginagawa ko, binabawasan ko na lang yung decimals kung nakita mo kanina.
Sige po.
Once na nakuha ko ni output, babawasan ko yung decimals para hindi apektado yung area. Kasi isa sa mga goal natin, of course, is to have the development have the approval for the development to be constructed in the area. So kung yung isang vehicle na yon ang magiging basihan doon sa pagpapatayo nung station mo doon sa area versus sa pag-relocate doon dahil lang doon sa nag-ground up ka, baka magkanda leche-leche. Kasi once you submit this, wala na. Nandun na yung report. May copy na sila ng hard. No, may hard copy na sila and they can use it as reference. So medyo iiwasan mo yon, tatansyahin mo. Alright. Kung ang goal mo naman, maybe ayaw mo talagang itayo yung station na yon, I suggest na round up ka. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Naka-record pala ako. Hindi ko sinasuggest yon. Sorry po. Sa mga nakikinig, wala po ako sinasuggest na taasan. Stop ko na-record. Ayun, pero kasi baka mamaya against ka doon sa itinatayo tapos na-assign lang sa'yo yun. Siyempre. Diba? Kung wala yung tinatayo doon, bar. Wholesome ka. Any questions po? Maybe not necessarily regarding the process. Baka may tanong kayo regarding experiences or kung paano nyo siya i-apply. Okay din yun. I'll just wait for you guys to ask questions. Pero sasabi na ako na itong Sidra software, you can include this in your CV. Okay? Kasi na-discuss ko na sa inyo kung paano. Hindi nyo alam kung paano gamitin kasi hindi nyo pa natatry. Pero, hindi nyo pa natatry gamitin pero alam nyo kung paano gawin. Okay? And if ever in the future, you'll be given a project that you have to use Sidra intersection, you can always message me and kapag may time ako, i-refresh ko sa inyo yung knowledge ng paggamit nito. Pero you can always access naman itong mga recordings natin. It's just that baka mamaya meron kayong questions na hindi ko na-explain. So, mas maganda kung mag-set na lang tayo na meeting and I can help you guys out. I know some students of mine, CE and railway engineering na ginamit yung Sidra sa CV nila and nadagdagan sila, parang nagkaroon sila ng plus points and they got the job. So, kung ako sa inyo, lagay nyo na ito sa CV nyo. Tanong na lang kayo sa akin kapag na problema kayo. Okay? So, ano na yung mga may dadagdag nyo? Meron na kayong AutoCAD. I'm assuming you have Civil 3D since you're railway engineers. Hopefully may Civil 3D kayo knowledge doon. That's important. What else? QGIS. You have QGIS knowledge and you also have Sidra. And I think nag-VSIM kayo, tama? You can also include that. So, yun. Other questions po? May nagtataas ng kamay.
Hello po, sir. Tanong
Yes
ko
po.
lang po, sir, kapag in-export na po yung data, ano pong file type niya?
Itong data na, yung tables kanina?
Opo.
Ito, sige. Pakitaan ko kayo ng katamaran.
Sorry. Salamat po.
Ba't ka nagsasorry? Yung mga tamad din nagiging successful. So, wait lang. Di pala ako nakashare. Ay, nakashare na ako. Yay! So, yung mga ganito kasi, na-observe ko yung mga boss ko dati. Meron pa silang extractor nito na pinopurchase nila somewhere. Tapos ang dami pang process, ang tagal-tagal. Akong ginagawa ko, hina-highlight ko lang yan. Tapos kinakopy ko, tapos pinipaste ko dito sa Excel. Yan na siya. Tapos nilinisin ko na lang. Tapos na. Saglit lang. Ayan na yung extracted or exported data mo. So you can just compare it to the other data that we have here. Ayan. Highlight mo lang to lahat. Tapos i-tapat mo dito. Ayan. Tapos yan, tignan mo na kung ano nangyari. Kung gusto mo i-compare yung level of service, palitin mo to, hide mo lang. Ayan. Itong nasa left mo, ito yung with development. Itong nasa right mo, yung without development. So, ayan. Ito, lumala. Ito din. Ganun lang. Magkakaroon ka naman ng discussion nito sa report. So, other
Okay
questions po?
Thank you po, sir.
Kung gusto niyo ng mga shortcut sa buhay, tatanong lang kayo. Other questions? Lana, you sure? How about questions sa project niyo? Baka meron kayo. We still have time. Wala? Okay na kayo? You sure? Going once. Going twice. Okay. So, If wala na kayong questions, you're free to leave. If meron mga students na nahihiya lang magsalita and gusto magpaiwan because they need to ask regarding their project or maybe dun sa 4-1 regarding their thesis, you can stay. I'll leave the room open until 3:45 or I'll wait until 3:45 kapag lumagpas na doon and walang nanghihingi ng console. I'll leave the meeting room. Okay. For the others, you're free to leave. And just a reminder, I need project updates by next week. So I'm assuming na meron na kayo na-produce ng mga mapa, hindi na kayo sa Google Earth nagpapakita ng alignment nyo and stations nyo, or maybe sa Google Maps. So gusto ko makita ng mga maps na nagawa nyo by next week. Not necessarily tapos na lahat or maayos na lahat, pero gusto ko may output na kayo. Okay? Thank you guys for attending the class. See you next week.
Thank you po, sir.